Welcome to day 408. I say it's 408, I always get the days mixed up. Hopefully it's 408. It's that or 9 anyway. Monday. Actually, day 16? 17 of the ball build, I think it is. So we've had a few days, we've got lost time, lost hours, and a few days merged into one. So yeah, today what the plan is, the guys are now rectifying some of the tiles that have gone down that don't look as good as they should do. So they're cutting some out and redoing them. The stairs are having another sheet of mosaics put over the top of the original ones because it's just creating a big grout mark all the way around the outside. So as much as it's not right to be putting tiles on top of tiles, it will raise the tiles to the height hopefully needed to ensure that we lose the grout mark right around the actual steps themselves. They've also chopped out some of the actual mosaics that just didn't look right, and they're trying to put them in and stretch them out. I make the spacing shared between 3 or 4 tiles rather than 1 tile because a couple of the grout lines are really big. And then today, I think it's either today or tomorrow, they're going to be boring out the actual holes that are actually in the pump room for the heat pump, and the trough obviously has to have the overflow and also the top up put in as well. So they're going to be boring the holes for those as well. I'm not too sure when they're going to do those, but they were going to do them today, but I think they bought the wrong equipment, so that will probably be tomorrow now. So, let me just quickly show what we've been up to as well. So I've done a steady hand, trying to do it in one-handed, all covered in dust. So we chased out, as you saw on the video that we uploaded this morning, the cracks all the way through the patio. So they've been actually hacked out, and we've used a Rockite and Zypex mix to try and backfill those cracks. So we're trying to do those as we speak. They are going to be quite a light cement colour, which is good. So hopefully they won't be great, but obviously they will merge in with the patio. And we are in the midst, obviously, just trying to finish that off. So we've got quite a few still left to do. So we'll finish those off. The guys in the pool, let me show you what they're up to. So they've chopped out this side over here. We had a big grout line here, so there's 3 sets of tiles that have been taken out, and 3 sets going to be going back in again once that goes off to try and balance out those tiles. Steps are being redone with the new set of tiles over the top. That also will hide the grout line at the very back as well, so I'll show you that in a second. And Melanie is here. Mel, my electrician man, is downstairs sweating his bits off. But yeah, that switch is already rusted. So he's downstairs just moving some of the conduit on the lighting so we can actually get the door cut in. And the front tiles, the top row have been cut out, so that's going to be plastered in with the same colour as the trough over the top, because the tiles obviously are too wide. So same here as well. So that we'll plaster the top of this and come over the lip onto this. They've also recut out this as well, I think, to try and get it a bit straighter, a straighter edge, because that was a bit drunk. So that's been done, and they've chopped out some of the stuff that wasn't bonding very well, and they're going to redo those as well. And then I think in the next couple of days, obviously after these have been installed, these 2 have got to be put in. The jets have got to be done on the side, the LED lights, sorry. And then the actual covers, which we bought, all of them are black. All of the actual the stuff itself is going to go in there on top to smooth things off once the plastering's been done. So as you can see what they're doing here, they're trying to bring the tiles forward to balance off the actual top themselves. There we go. As straight as possible. So yeah, that's where we are so far. So then this is obviously the back. This man is cutting out all the actual the plastic spacers that they use to get them at the right height. They're being cut out, and Sherwin's obviously filling holes, and we're trying to sand off and rough off before they go hard, which is bloody hard, I tell you. Got to get it right. If you do it too soon, then you obviously land up brushing into the actual crack itself, which means you have to refill. And if you leave it too long, then it starts going hard, you have to scrape it back. So either way, it's a bit of a catch-22 on when it needs to be sponged or not. But anyway, as you can see from here, this one was sponged a little bit too early because it's literally going in the hole a little bit, which means we need to put some more in there now. So we're trying not to have to go over our footprints. This one here can draw, and then we'll sponge that afterwards. So anyway, welcome back. I hope everyone had a great weekend. I'll update you throughout the day as and when things go on, but at this present time it's literally rectifying tiling, doing some grouting, filling these bloody holes in here, and hopefully this week plastering the pool. I think it might be worth leaving that to the new year, but let's see how it goes. Okay, welcome back. We are at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Before I start gabbling, if you haven't done a thumbs up, please help me with one of those. And welcome to new subscribers. We've actually managed to fill most of the cracks now and just smooth them all off. They're all now curing, so I'm sure they're going to have another coat. And for those that don't know what happened there, obviously this is a big slab supported up by a couple of columns downstairs. And when the weight each side of those columns takes place, it's sort of like a biscuit snaps a little bit. So we've let them snap and continue until they stopped, and now we've drilled them out with a disc grinder, and we've used a rockite, which is like it's mainly for anchoring bolts and stuff like that. So we use a powdered Zypex and the rockite together, which has come up with quite a nice matching colour as well, which is quite good. So I think we might have wiped them out a little bit soon on some of them, so I think we've actually created a little bit of a dip, so it means we might have to go over some of them, but to a certain extent they're all pretty much done, so I'll show you that in a second. The guys have rectified the steps on the pool, which I showed you already, so I'll show you that in a second so you can see the new tiles over. And they've also cut out the big ugly L-shaped grout line in the corner of the sun shelf, and they've basically put 3 new tiles into there and spaced them out a little bit more, so rather than having one big gap, we've now got a gap spread over 3 tiles. So I'll show you that in a second. And also Mel was here earlier, which I showed you. He's now moved that conduit, so we'll have a quick look at that in a second as well. So let me start off with the cracks. So all the cracks have been cut out and filled. All looks messy obviously because we've sponged off. It's going to need another damn good clean, so we've got quite a few over there. One over in the corner here, these ones coming right around. And this is where the column is. So the 2 columns, there's one about here and there's one about there. And obviously they're keeping this up in the air, and obviously this wants to sag and this wants to sag. So that's where most of the cracks have come from. Then we've got a couple in the corners here and the corners over there, obviously were the same thing. So they're all done now. So as I say, I think we've actually sponged them out a little bit too early, but because of the sun, they're curing so bloody quick. So if we didn't get them done, then we would land up having to sand them down. So I'd much rather have to put more in than sand them down. Tile adhesive's been mixed up because they're going to be grouting. This one's been done as well. Again, it's cured a lot better under the umbrella. So again, if you had a decent shade, it would have been all right, but unfortunately that's not going to be the case. But anyway, at least they're done now. The crack over here has been corrected and amended. The tiles in the corner have been done as well. The guys have redone the steps here. And now they're starting on the tiling on the sides here, around the actual outside. So the corner here has been recut and re-put back in. We trimmed these ones off here, and this is going to be plastered and taken over the corner like I told you. So they've rectified that corner, got a grout. They've rectified this tile and put some new tiles in. Collars have got to be installed. They have got the collars now. Not too sure what they are. I did see them earlier. So the collars are here as well, so they can be installed. And the steps have been completely retiled as well, which is awesome. They're just taking out the grout now of all of them, so they now look a lot better. So what we've actually done is actually brought the tiles forward, which does mean that they don't line up to the wall on some of them, but to a certain extent it's 10 times better. These have been taken off and put back in straight, which is nice, and this has been redone as well. And then down here the guys have actually taken out the 3 tiles here, and as you can see they've sort of balanced out the 3 to get rid of that major grout line. 10 times better. So now they're going to attempt to put in the next row of big tiles in here. So this is what the line's for here. So that's going to land up, they're now going to do a row of tiles all the way through, so they're going to have to obviously follow this diagonal angle straight through, which they've already done by the looks of it. They've got it lined out on the floor. So yeah, that is going to be the next thing. So this man's going to be grouting, this man's going to be tiling. So we could be putting some water in at the end of this week, you never know. Let me quickly show down what Mel's done with the electrics. Mel's moved ceiling light, which had a conduit going to the roof. Oh, it's actually just put the roof there now. I'll get in there in a minute and I'll show you. But basically we've got to put this door on the side, so the conduit that was coming right about here, he's now moved over to the other side and removed the conduit from the wall, which as you can see is on here. So yeah, we can crack on with that. We're going to be installing an overflow about here. So the trough should always have about 12 inches of water in at any one time. So if the rain obviously takes it up, then it can get to around about another 2 foot. So it'll be 3 foot in total, and then it'll pour out. And then what we'll also be doing is taking in here, somewhere in here, we'll be taking in a water feed, so that if for whatever reason at all, even evaporation, obviously the pool evaporates over time. So if anything happens with the pool when the water goes down, then this will have a float, and it will fill the trough of water, and that will make sure that the pump doesn't dry out. Can't be running dry, that's for sure. And I think they're going to be looking at doing something with the trough. Bear in mind it's not very flush. But anyway, that's where they are so far. And they've also they've been using some form of adhesive around here on the pipe as well, trying to seal the pipe underneath here. So they put some form of silicone on there all the way around. That's obviously just to keep the water or moisture going between the pipe and the floor. So yeah, we're getting there. A lot more happy with those, that's for sure. And hopefully when that's grouting, and that will look 10 times better as well, fingers crossed. So yeah, still lots to do, and sheets down as well. Nice. Anyway, I'll check in soon. Okay, day 409 comes to an end. Got some tiles down. Tiling is a lot better. Some of the rectifications they've done today, a lot happier with. Cracks done. Cabling sorted. So let me show you what we've been up to. Okay, so we've chased out the conduit hole that we're going to need for the LED strips. The LED strips will start here. So we'll house all the drivers and the electrics in here. So the wireless and the drivers will be in here, cabling down, straight into here, and then obviously 90 odd foot of LEDs around. Cracks have been done, but obviously some of them are quite under the level, which is a bit of a shame, like I said earlier on, which is a bit of a pain in the backside. But all of them have been done. The steps, so much better. So they did go down on the actual original tiles that were here, which is a bit of a shame, but it has enabled us to come up and lose this horrible white grout line that was right along here. So it's still not perfect, obviously, but it's a lot better. So as you can see here, that's okay, that's okay. This one's a little bit bigger than it needs to be, and this one obviously they couldn't do anything with the top one, so that's as is really. They've also redone this side piece here, so this one doesn't look like someone's broken teeth, so that looks better. And this one's been redone as well, although we do have one a little bit proud there. And then here, what's happened here is from here, these 3 tiles here have been put in, so it was cut out completely, and these 3 tiles were put in. So there's a slight cut down here, which is a bit of a pain. And then the same 3 tiles went down this way, so you can see the grout line here is thicker, and so is here. They've spaced a set of tiles in here to lose that big thick one down here, so they're not very straight, but it's 10 times better than it was. Obviously you can still see the depth of the actual grout line here and here, but it looks so much better than it did, that's for sure. We still need to do something in that corner as well. That corner can't be left like that, so they're going to have to try and do something on the bottom. But other than that, that's pretty much done. And then the next row of tiles are going in as well. So as you can see now, that's going to be our gutter. So you've got 2 nice sets of tiles all the way through that will have the gutter going through. So I probably would have held off on this until the blue was down. The less tiles, the less damage and mess. We've got the new fittings for the drains, the 2 drains here, and also the jets. I'm not too sure what they are, but they could have been put in today. Once they're in, then they can literally start, automatically they can start plastering. So, but they can't plaster until that's done. Other than that, it's been pool, tiling, cracks. So Sherman's downstairs sorting out some of the wood, because we're trying to sell some of the wood. Other than that, that's pretty much where we are so far. So tomorrow, hopefully the same again. Get some more big tiles down, and hopefully we'll have a team of people at some stage, I assume tomorrow, that will be plastering. I don't know when they're going to do it and how they're going to do it. But yeah, we don't have a great deal of time to do it, so whether we put that off and do that in the new year, I'm not too sure yet. I'm still sleeping on that. Anyway, I'm going to leave you to it. Another close of play sunset for you. So what we got here today for you? Oh, okay, that's not too bad. Sun's still quite up because we're only at 4:10. So I'll love and leave you. Any comments below, please fill your boots, and I'll check on you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and welcome to new subscribers. Thank you.